All right, everyone. Today, I'm going to make a nautical candle holder for my wife out of some beech wood we found on the beach. All right, everyone. This is our beech wood. It's not the beech wood they sell or anything like that. This is actual wood we took from the beach, washed up. I had my kids grab it from Maine. I think they grabbed it 2 years ago, this piece. I always ask them to take a look while they're up there. They get up there more than I do. And they found this really nice piece. So this is what's going to be our main candle holder. Now, right now, I'm going to build a platform for it. I'm planning on using a platform, and I plan on giving it kind of an ocean effect. I'll show you what I mean later on. Something I've done in the past, and I think it comes out really nice. But first, we have to cut this piece down, or cut the platform down the size of this piece. Now for this, I'm not taking any measurements. I'm just lining it up with the end. I'm going to line it up here, and I'm just going to leave myself a little extra wiggle room in case I want to cut it down further later on. And this way I have a little extra too in case I need it. Very simple. Very, very simple here. That'll be good. And I put a little mark to the right because that's where I want the curve of the blade to go. And then we're going to just go cut it down on our miter saw. Alright, so we got the piece cut down. If you guys are curious, let's just see here. It actually came to exactly 26 and a half. I didn't plan that, but hey, I guess it doesn't really matter on this project. So now we got to decide which side do we want to display. So I took a look, honestly, off camera, and I actually was originally going to go with this side, but I kind of like with this piece sticking out here. I think I'm going to go with this side here. Now, what's kind of nice about this piece, it actually has a pretty flat bottom right here. So I'm not going to have to put this on dowels or anything. I'm just going to lay it on here, honestly. And I'm definitely, it does wobble a bit, but there's definitely a flat bottom. So what I'm thinking is instead of doing like a dowel, holding it up in the air, I'm going to lay it straight on this piece here. And then I'm going to secure it with some screws or wood glue or both, just to keep it from moving. Yeah, I like that idea. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. I think the wifey's going to love it. Love it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decide on the positioning of the piece here. So I'm actually not moving it much. I'm just evening it up on either side here. And then I'm going to hold it down here. And now I kind of want to mark where I'm touching it on the wood. This is going to be for a part I'm going to be doing later. I want to keep a specific part black. So I'm just going to take my pencil here. Just kind of let it trace around the area. Let's see how we did. All right, so there we go. There's our general outline here. We can kind of estimate that this part right here, we're going to have to leave flat, which is exactly what I needed. I didn't need much more than that, so that worked for me. It's perfect. Okay, so before I get to the Dremel part, I have some options I need to explore a bit. So we have our piece here. Now I can do two things for this to hold the candles. We can drill holes for certain candle sizes in the wood itself, or we can try and flatten this piece here. Now with flattening though, on this piece, I don't know what's underneath, and I don't even know if I can get this straight, so I might have to stand to get it straight or level. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a sacrificial piece off of this and see what it kind of looks like. So I'm actually going to cut down towards this end here, because that's going to be kind of at the same level as where I would do the flat or the level for the entire piece. So right down here is what we're going to cut off just to see what happens and see what it looks like. So there's that piece right there. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. I'm not sure. Is that still going to be stringy and stuff? And can I actually get it to be perfectly straight with that bandsaw? Looks like I cut off here. I don't know. Let me think about it for a bit. Alright, so I've decided I'm going to try and make this piece flat. Now this might end up going disastrous, but we'll see what happens. It might just totally ruin the piece. So, to get it to be a straight edge, I've actually mounted it to this board before I did any work to the board itself here. So right now it's secured by screws. Now, it won't quite fit through my bandsaw to resaw it to a flat edge. And the other part is that my table saw won't cut it halfway through so I could go back and cut it the other way. So this is what the plan's gonna be. I'm going to saw through as much of it as I can with the table saw, and then we're gonna take it off the board. And I can fit the piece through without the board, just barely. I can angle it just right, and I can shave off the rest of the way using the table saw, or the bandsaw. I don't know, I've never done this before, and I'm a little worried about it. I'm gonna be standing off to the side here. I got nothing behind me. So we're gonna give it a shot and see what happens. I'm just gonna take it nice and easy, and we're gonna stop too if I feel like anything's going wrong. Alright, so I did miss one thing, and we're just gonna, I'm gonna actually go cut it off. This here got caught when I was going through my first pass through. Luckily I was able to back it out safely. I was able to cut through on the other side. I'm actually wondering if I should just continue on my bandsaw. Some of it anyways. Alright, we're gonna go I'm gonna go to the bandsaw and try and cut it the rest of the way now. We're gonna unmount it from this piece, and then we'll follow that initial cut line I made with the table saw down it. This way I can try and get it as even as possible with the board here. So that worked well enough to work with. We actually have a pretty smooth surface. Didn't get as far down, but I'm gonna get a little farther while I do some of the sanding. One of the things I was kind of upset about is I did have to cut a piece of this part off. Just trying to see if I should try and if I should break it more or if I should just leave it as it is. still working, right? That's better. It's just I didn't want a perfect cut, I think, is what I really wanted. So now I'm thinking, I think I'm gonna actually use the belt sander. Probably gonna have to reattach this and then I'll take the belt sander to it, because that'll help make it even. Actually, I'm gonna do the orbital sander at 60 grit. I think I don't want to take off too much either. All right, it's sanding time. All right, so as you can see from the video, this is level enough. I mean, it's not perfectly level. I wasn't shooting for perfectly level, but I wanted to be comfortable enough putting, say, candles on this, and it's not tipping over. There's some spots here that aren't going to be even up either, and I almost don't want it to. I mean, it has a natural, I'm guessing those are from bugs or something, those natural little cavities there. So, I mean, I want some cavities too, just to embrace it a bit. I'm pretty, I was really worried for a bit there, but I'm really kind of excited to see how it turns out. I'm thinking too, I might pick up some, I might have some extra, but I don't think I have enough. I might pick up some rope to do on the outside edges here. But I'm almost thinking, you know, if we wanted to do a big candle, we could still put a big candle on there and not have to worry about it going anywhere too much. So, but we can definitely do smaller candles too or whatever. I can do some decorations in between maybe too. Not sure, but I'm getting happy with it. So we're going to keep moving up the chain. I'm going to try smoothing out some of these areas a bit more. And then we'll start going up the sandpaper tree to about 220 grit. I think I'll stop at 220 grit. Sandy time! Sandy time. I'm just going to bring you closer because I want you to see this. So, what are the errors there? Let me see if I can zoom in. Perfect. There's still a little dip in the center there. It might have been from my cutting. Could have been natural. And I tried to fix it as much as I could with sanding, but there's not much more I can do there. So now, some of this is still loose in there. So I'm going to take some CA glue because it's clear. I don't want to use wood glue. Wood glue wouldn't be clear. So we're going to take some CA glue and just help stabilize it a bit. Well, you look at that. So I know CA glue heated up. This is actually smoking. Just gonna make sure it doesn't catch on fire here. Huh, that was pretty cool. Alright, it's already dry. Might actually go in. Nah, I'll just leave it as it is. But now it's pretty rock hard down there. Those pieces aren't gonna split anymore. Okay, we're gonna begin. We're just gonna use one of the foam brushes. And I'm gonna start with the bottom. I want to make sure I get the bottom good because A, you're not gonna really see it, but you still gotta kind of seal, especially this kind of wood. And B, if I do the bottom and for some reason I hate it or it doesn't go well, I have options. So, and I'm literally going to smother this on there right now. This is gonna go nuts. Now because this isn't perfect, I want to make sure I get in between the cracks as much as I can. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I really got to set up a turntable or something for this stuff. This might take longer to dry too because of this, the way I have to do this. I am going to try and smooth out what I can. I don't want to take too much off of it though because I'm just going to have to do a ton of coats. And like over here, I don't know. This is probably the parts that I'm worried about the most. Let me actually bring you over here. You can kind of see it. Alright, you see at the ends there, there's just, you can't really do anything with just a brush in there unless you want to just douse it. So, I'm a little worried. Let's smooth out what I can. We're just going to let that dry for a bit. Probably 2 hours. Or I'll wait until tomorrow to finish it up. Alright, so we have our piece here. Now, what I've learned from this project here is if you're not going to use a spray, you have to really do really thin coats. Reason for that is, I'll show you here. So there's some white residue from the polyurethane where I got too much of it on. There's not much I can do about that. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I wasn't planning on this being the show side, but my wife might change her mind. And it kind of blends in enough that I'm okay with it. This side here though, where I made sure I did the thin coats, and this was the side I was planning on having as being the front side. This side is really nice. Even in the cracks and stuff like that, didn't really get any of that white residue. And the top's perfect, it's nice and shiny. So this is going to be my final coat, so I think this would be a 6 coat. And right now I'm just going to go over it with some 220 gram. I'm just going to hand sand it. Mostly going to focus up here. I'm probably going to do some along the side, although I want to make sure that stays rough. You know, that's the part I wanted rough anyways, so. to sanding. While that dries, I'm going to be sanding this down. We're going to do two kinds of sandings. I'll cover the second part later, but the first part, our basic handheld oscillating sander. We're going to go to 220 grit. We're going to do the top, and we're going to round off the sides. Keep in mind that when you're sanding, your pencil marks are going to go away. I'm going to have to put these back on. No big deal. We need those for the second part of the sanding, but you'll see those. Alright, sanding, that part of the sanding's done. So now that this is dried, we have to remark it a bit. I'm just positioning it. Screw. Alright, so it's a little less liberal, but pretty much that part we need to leave flat. So now I am going to make waves. Yep, make waves. We're going to use my Dremel tool for that. So I guess got to get that out. I'll be right back. Alright, so we have our Dremel tool. Just have the 80 grit sandpaper. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through randomly. And we're going to kind of make ripples or waves. Some bigger, some smaller. But that's the goal here. Make some waves. By the way, there's no way you can actually hook up any kind of dust thing. So I kind of attach my vacuum here just to try and suck it up, and I try and cut over here while we're doing it. But sometimes I'm gonna have to do it like this, maybe, or like that. So. I just wanted to say, I changed my mind a bit how I'm going to do this piece. Now that I got some of it done over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp this down. I'm going to clamp the piece down instead. And I might just have to flip it around on this side to do more of the small stuff. And I'm just going to hold the vacuum when I'm dremeling. This creates a ton of dust, so this is probably going to be easier. Get less dust in the air. We're good. So that's pretty much how I do an ocean. Mini ocean, I should say. Mini. So you want to do it you want to do it random, but kind of keep some of the same patterns because of the ripple effects and stuff. And even though I smoothed the top off and there is some tops here, You want to try and not leave any of the top piece at all. You want to do ripples kind of everywhere to make it uneven and everything. But I'm happy with that. I think that turned out good. So next we're going to, well, I can clean this right now, and then we gotta stain it. Now let's just give it a good vacuuming, and I'm probably gonna have to wipe it down too. All right, now we just gotta stain it. I actually forgot, before I stain it, we're gonna burn it a bit, just to give it some dark in the ocean. As I like to say, dark in the ocean. We don't, probably not gonna do much, and I'm just gonna kind of follow some of these here. Alright, that's good. Now we gotta let that dry. And then we just gotta do a little bit more painting. Not much. What we're missing, if you're curious, is we have the black. We have spots of black. I do wish I did a little more, but that's okay. We got the blue, and then we need some white. Alright, so we've come to the last part of this part, unless I totally blow this, which I hope I'm not. We're gonna just put in some white paint. Now, I'm not gonna just paint it. What I'm gonna do is we're just gonna dump some acrylic here. Some acrylic white paint. Not a lot, just a little bit. Okay. And then I usually do a rag with this. I guess you can use brush. I just usually do a rag. And then we're going to get some on a rag. And just wipe it off. We're doing kind of a dry brush kind of thing. And then just kind of lightly go over some of the tops here. See how little I'm doing? That's all we're doing. We might do a little bit more here and there, but that's all we're doing. The reason I use a rag is I can kind of, do it a little bit here and there, kind of wiping it as I go. I kind of consider this the same thing as doing like black in crevices of stuff you're trying to get dirty. I treat it the same way, except we're trying in this scenario not to get it as dirty. Is a good way to put it. Sometimes you want a lot, sometimes you want a little. This is one of those times you want just a little bit. Just to highlight where these edges are almost. That's a good way to put it. Do some random spots there and there. Skip some spots entirely. Don't get carried away. All right, we're good. I did a better job this time than I have done in the past. Just look at that. Look at that. That looks like the ocean to me. Cool. So we just gotta let this dry, and then we can seal it, and then put everything together. I hope the wifey loved it. So this project's nearing its completion. I still gotta seal the other board, but before I do that, we actually recently went and got our Christmas tree, and we had to go someplace else this year that we normally went. But very nice place. I loved it. I think we'll go back next year to that one. A lot closer, a little cheaper too. But they wrapped the tree in this really cool net. Now, I was thinking about throwing out, and then I was like, this kind of looks almost like a fishing net. So I'm actually going to use it on my wife's Christmas present here. And we're just going to wrap some of it around, and I'm going to save the rest of it too in case I figure out some other use for it. Still gonna have to. So we're just gonna tangle it together, and then I'm gonna hot glue it in spots underneath though if I can. All right, and I think I'll just have that kind of hanging off. Yeah, kind of like that. Need more glue. More glue. I might have to weather this rope a bit, but that's no big deal. I like that. It's gonna give it a cool little additional look, I think. Sweet. So we're gonna have to weather that rope, and I gotta seal that anyway, so we'll do the weathering next while we're doing the sealing. Because we gotta wait for the sealing. Alright. So while that part's drying, at least the first coat, I'm gonna divert from my original plan. And instead of using that regular rope, I actually found this rope in my toss-in bin. I think this came off of a buoy from Maine or something like that. Only problem is, this is actually a lot better. I think it looks a lot more legit. Problem is, it's too clean, so we're gonna dirty it. For this one, I usually start with black paint, but we're gonna start with brown. And then we're going to add in black paint later on. So I'm just gonna say the brown looked great. The black really absorbs quick and is really harsh. So I'm just putting in. I don't know if you saw. I was just dabbing some black in on this top piece here. And what I also have to do too is I have to wipe it off really quickly on this piece of rope to get it. And I'm not going to do much. I'm actually going to dump this out in a second and go get more brown. And I'm going to put more brown in. All right. I'm happy with that. So actually mixing a little black into brown, I think really helped that over brown. Probably gave it a little bit of contrast too. Now this looks like something more like it was still in good condition, but it's been through being used on a lobster boat and being lost in the ocean somewhere. Maybe a little more brown here and there, I think. Yeah, that looks like it's been used. Perfect. So we just got to let those dry then and we're good to go. All right, everyone. Whoa. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh. Oh. There we go. All right, everyone. So it's complete. I did wrap the rope around this. I forgot to record it. My bad. My bad. Pretty simple. The hot glue didn't actually work for this rope, so I had to use super glue. And I just kind of wrapped it around in a cool way. Use something like this to do whatever you want. And now we're going to screw it to the piece. And then we got to wrap it. I really like it. It's cool. Put some candles on it. Yeah. So that's it for this episode, except for the wrapping. But if you liked, make sure you like it, follow, subscribe, and share. And make sure you check out both my YouTube and Facebook pages. And I hope you have had a Merry Christmas, as this is going to be out after Christmas. And a Happy New Year. Stay safe. Bye. You know, I could build something like that, but I can't wrap for heck. What do you think? I don't know. My solution for no wrapping skill, lots and lots of tape. Is that the worst wrapping job ever, or what? Well, Merry Christmas! Happy New Year!